No, I'm not going to fall for that. Adepticon is home of the Worlds tournaments for Marvel Crisis Protocol, Star Wars Shatterpoint, Star Wars Legion, Star Wars X-Wing, and Star Wars Armada.
What about non-AMG games?
Oh, yeah. All sorts of great, huge GTs, events, qualifiers, more.
Bushido. I know one of their Grandmasters in North America is at that one. I know GW does a bunch of stuff. I don't think any of them is Grandmasters per se.
17-14 Conan. Listen, he made a good run to come back at that, scoring 4 in that last round.
It was a good try.
It was. That was a great game. Well thought out. Both players played really well. Some really unimpactful spenders.
As they often are.
For the Outlanders. What's that?
As they often are.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, channeling your inner Tim France when you're doing a spender is not a good idea. I advise against it personally. I understand that people would like that. These two on the side.
Yeah, you got to hold them at the same time. No, up and down. Yeah, there you go.
It turns immediately off when you hit them. All right, Tisdale going to go pee, bringing the earbud with him. So we'll try to pipe that in through, see what's going on, make sure everything comes out okay. But outside that, great round 2 for us here at Squad Goals. Once again, hosted by Alfredo Size 3 Taco Truck. Let's take a look at some of the long shanked results. See if we have some other stuff that has been solved. Squad Goals, what some may call 2024. All right, so the Meatmen and Grip It and Rip It, Nathan's Angels, and Excelsior, all going to 2-0. In the lead is the Meatmen, who have won every single game in both rounds. All 3 on both rounds.
That's crazy.
Grip It and Rip It and Nathan's Angels, both going 5-1 out of their 6 games so far. Excelsior, 3-1, so they still have some games outstanding.
What flag is that?
It's the virtual tag for Longshanks. And then, a lot of other undecided stuff out there. Let's go down to the bottom and see if we have any confirmed 0 and 6s. We do. Crispy and the Boys, Rolling Stoned, the Strategic Warfare Military Intervention, Infamous, Don't Call Us Plucky. Oh, they're still tied, so they still have a game outstanding. So those bottom 3, 19 through 22, Infamous, Swimmy, Rolling Stone, and Crispy and the Boys.
So they lost the round, but they haven't lost all the games.
So those.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
Yeah. So there are still some outstanding games here to be finished up, but yeah, I believe we'll confirm this, but I believe it is going to be probably a little bit before all the games are done. We move into the next dealio. There is a great shot of Dr. D drinking his paint water there. You could tell because it was so brown. He was using that, the Scuzz Boy Brown or whatever it was called.
Scuzz Boy?
Yeah. Sure. The Scuzz Blight.
Jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the pinnacle of professionalism.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's been saying it for years. They're like, oh my gosh, Professional Casual Network, when will they get it together? But, ooh.
Here we are.
That's a big stretch.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead and hit that bad boy for you. Boop. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yo, man, look at that clarity.
I think there's enough. How long is the round?
2.5 hours. So we started at 2:30. Also the time to know when you need to go to the dentist. And we'll be ending the round, I believe, 5 o'clock, which is in about 45 minutes, but some might say 47.
That's enough time to do a little tutorial.
Nice.
Let's do some non-metal metallic.
Some NMM.
Some NM.
Not to be confused with MMA, which is monster metallic acrylics.
So everybody ignore Tim. So what we're going to talk about is...
So a monster metallic acrylic would be a specific type of paint to do a model like Mechagodzilla.
Sure.
right? So if you have a metal kaiju, that's where you use MMA.
Are you ready? So Monument Babies.
Or a mecha monster like Mothra,
Monument Hobbies.
acrylic paint would be used for that. But no, by all means, go for it. I'm sorry.
So Monument Hobbies.
That we don't have the monster metallic acrylics in stock anymore over at Monument Hobbies. They should come back. When they do, make sure to use that code Professional Casual at checkout to get 5% off your order and help support your favorite worst network.
And you could use it to buy the new Flame On Painting Miniatures set.
It sounds like a great time and place to use that.
Because you're going to use it to do some NMMM, or some NIM
Yeah.
for gold. It's very, very good for that. Whether it's specifically designed for that or not, I couldn't tell you, but it definitely seems that way to me. So we're going to start it off with a little dark green brown. It's very, very good for starting with a, not quite like a dark brown. It's a really good color for like base coating on anything you want to paint, like kind of as a yellow to give it like a bit of a metallic sheen to it. Mm-hmm. So he's got this little like wizard necklace on his neck. So we're going to give that a little bit of some M. All right, so that one's nice and quick. Thankfully, Tim wasted most of that time by yapping. So next, I'm going to pull out bright yellow ochre for the mid-tone. And then at the end of it, you're going to want to use something that is a bit brighter. Which I might not have brought.
What is it you're looking for? Sorry.
I'm just thinking the paints that came with it. I might have put it in a different spot and didn't grab it when I was leaving my desk. But you know what? We'll pivot, and you can use an especially light, a much brighter yellow for the actual like golden sheen. This is Phalanx yellow by GW. They have a good yellow in Flame On's box that's very good for being like the end yellow. You could even use a bit of the Rogue Hobbies one. This is probably pretty equivalent. I guess it kind of depends on what kind of yellow you want, a little more unsaturated or saturated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use Phalanx yellow just because I know what that looks like.
Are you winning, Pa? Corn Dog McGraw, hey, congratulations on the events that you have recently had. And a happy belated birthday. Happy you stopped in.
It's your birthday.
Absolutely.
What did he ask?
Oh, she asked if we're winning, Pa.
I haven't won a single day in my life. I did two though.
You did two what? Wins?
No, well I haven't won, but I two'd.
Oh, God.
That's a homonym joke.
That is a homonym joke. I'm a big fan of birthday weeks, birthday months even. I try to stretch it out too, but it's the way to go. It's the way to go.
Okay, so obviously when you're doing NMM, this is like the definition of like contrast. So what you want to do is you want to leave a lot of that previous color in there just so that when you look at it, it looks like it has a high sheen to it. So if you have...
Sheen from Jimmy Neutron, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So make sure you bring your Ultra Lord
Yes.
action figure.
Okay, just want to confirm that.
Nope, you're right.
I've been picking up some painting stuff, man. Like, I'm getting there.
Most other people would think you're some kind of trolling moron, but I get what you're asking.
I don't know who would think that. Based off of what, my actions?
Yeah. Mike Tisdale probably would think that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wowee.
Speaking of, I'm going to go find him. I'm going to see what the other guys are doing over at the Star Wars Unlimited Store Championship. Can I trust you and leave you alone here alone?
No.
Okay.
See you later. All right, list all the things I'm not allowed to talk about.
Anything that's not directly related to exactly how you're painting, why you're painting, the colors. MCP you're allowed to talk about.
Okay.
Anything about this event here at Squad Goals that would be within brand for the Professional Casual Network.
Okay.
Your personal eating habits, what you like to eat, food.
I like pizza.
I like. Do you like pizza?
I love pizza.
I have a friend that hates cheese.
Jeez.
So we won't eat pizza, and I constantly forget. I was like, oh yeah, you don't like cheese, huh? I was like, wow, there's this great place that, oh no, there's cheese on everything there too. He's not lactose intolerant. He just hates cheese. It's something about the texture. I think he was slowly choked by a mozzarella stick from Burger King as a child.
Sure.
Which happens. You bite into that too quick and it's too hot, like you just get glue gunked in your throat.
Go watch your baby game.
Wow. Fine. Stone them? Okay, corn dog. Right out of the gate with the stoning.
Can I talk about that?
Whew. I'm just going to exit, I think. I'll be back.
Bye.
We'll see you in a bit.
Bye. All right, so obviously we got a bit of a mid-tone there. So it might seem kind of like NMM always looks terrible until the very end. When's the next round? I think this round ends at 5 our time, 5 Central, and after that it'll probably be probably 10, 20 minutes after that. Yeah, probably about 10, 20 minutes. So probably around 5, 10, 20. Who am I painting? So this is a Corgi Wizard model that I just happened upon while I was at Gen Con. So, and what I actually don't know the name of the company that made it, but they're definitely. I want to say they're probably 3D prints. I saw them and I was like, I bet my girlfriend would really like these. We should paint them together. And the way it all worked out, I was like, you know what? I guess I'll paint these on the stream. There was a whole set of them. There's a Corgi warrior. He's got a little sword in his mouth. There's a king. That might be what it is. Well, because they had a lot of different models, so it could have been their brand of models, but then this certain company maybe just printed them and was selling them at Adepticon. And then there's a jester. There's also a Cerebus that the lady painted, but so I didn't bring that one. Steamforged are the ones that made Guild Ball, right? Oh yeah, that's right. No, it wasn't from a board game. I'm pretty sure they just made these. At least that I know of. So, yep, all we're going to do is we're going to essentially just refine the color, and you really want to make sure you leave contrast, because the higher the contrast value for a NMM, it helps show the fact that it has a sheen to it, so that it makes it look like a piece of metal. Yeah, I've definitely heard of those. I've seen those models at my local game store, and these weren't it. As far as, again, I could be wrong, but if they did it or not, well, they did. If they did do it, they did a great job. I love the models. And this little necklace has a gem inside there, so we'll probably pick a bright color for that. One of the good new colors from Rogue Hobbies is a bright green. It's actually called bright green. I didn't know that, but ironic that that's what I said. Thank you for the follow, Tokoscape. All right, so there we go. Going higher on that yellow. So again, we're leaving plenty of that very first color. So when it comes to metallics, I always like to add a little bit of a straight pure white, because that really helps with the whole contrast thinking. I don't want to use a lot of paint in this room because almost every single drop of it that goes into this thing is going to dry up almost immediately because it is humid in this room. Oh my God. I'm going to try and save that paint. Because we're not going to need a lot of it, thankfully. When you're only painting one model at a time, you can really save it on the paint. Because you're going to use a lot less of it than you think. So again, just grab some of that paint, pull it over here, grab another previous color, pull it out. So we kind of want almost a pure white, but you always want to tie it in with whatever the previous color is, like I always like to say. Again, more of a personal preference thing. You don't have to do that. And again, I'm using a real junky brush. So it's like, in my opinion, you don't really need all that fancy tools. As long as the thing has a point, you can always use it. And in a weird way, a bad brush actually gives you the ability to do certain things, like certain textures that a good you may not want to use a good brush for. So, you know, bit of a personal idea in that regard. And then in this case, I will actually just use a little bit of pure white and just hit the very edges of it just to give it that real strong metallic sheen. And there you go. Real simple NMM. What I'm going to do before I finish doing is I'm going to take some of that original color and I'm going to kind of make it darker just to kind of push it. Because the closer the top color and the darker color are to each other, the shinier an object. Which is essentially the entire concept of how non-metal metallic works. Because the more contrast you have between those things, the more, I guess you call it like a shiny texture you have to it, which is something that metal obviously does, because it reflects light. And I'm even going to go a little bit further. I'm going to grab a little of that Mornfang brown, if I can find it. I can't believe you left me here all by myself. We can talk about anything. What do you guys want to talk about? And we're going to take this real dark brown, hit the shadows, really push that contrast. Let's talk about politics, yeah. Let's go with yeah, for sure. I was reading a book about how rebellions or civil wars start. That was a fun book. It was kind of political. It was pretty interesting, actually. But for the sake of Tim's sanity, I won't bring it up. I guess we could talk about Henry I guess it's kind of nerd politics. Henry Cavill was on, I don't know, some show or another, and he was talking about painting models, even though I think he said he hasn't done it in a really long time. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not a huge... I don't mind Henry Cavill, but he's like one of those guys where I'm like, I don't get the hype. I really just do not get the hype. So there you go. So that's what I would do for a non-metal metallic gold. It's very simple, unless you want to really get in the weeds on it. It gets more complicated the more complex the shape is. That thing in the middle is a gem, which I think we're going to do right now. So what I'm going to do, just to tie it in all together, just to keep the color somewhat consistent, I'm going to do green in the middle for the gem, and then I'm going to paint this big vial here, because it looks like a life potion. It's okay. I think if it was a different room, because it's real hot and humid in here, so this thing's drying out real fast. I would say my review of it might be a little unfair, just because this isn't like an optimal painting situation. Like a wet palette in this room would be like top notch, but I think this thing is helping for sure. Like if I put paint on anything else, it would be like probably dry instantaneously, but this has helped a little bit. But I think, but the room is kind of giving me an unfair assessment of it. I would probably use this at home, but I prefer wet palettes anyway, so it's kind of a null point to me. Is it worth $35? Yeah, I would say so. I paid $35 at the store while we were here because I forgot my palette at home, and yeah, I think it's worth it. It's pretty good. How's the baby game?
Oh, I don't know. I just went over and bought caffeine.
Where's my coffee?
They didn't have coffee.
You know what? You know what you don't have? A cooperative co-host. So let's talk about politics.
Do you want to split this?
What's that, coffee?
Yes.
No!
What was your favorite pizza topping?
Politics. I love pepperoni.
Pepperoni's like kind of the old standby. It's never going to be bad.
Pepperoni with black olives. I'm an olive guy.
Ugh, nope. Now you lost me.
Okay, let's talk about politics then. So what do you want to say?
You know, actually, what I like is a garlic pie with like chicken and bacon on it. It's like real good.
Chicken and bacon. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
What kind of bacon though?
Oh, great question. I assume crumbled
Where's my black green?
or chicken and sausage.
That's a weird answer.
Oh, redeemed. Yeah, white garlic. Yeah, with bacon and feta. Get out of here with feta.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. All right, I have this one prompted up. So I was at a restaurant
Okay.
and I went there for a steak dinner, and I went there, I ordered it, it was very, very good, and the waiter came up and he said, how did you find your steak, sir? And I said, it was really easy, it was right there on the plate next to the potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have that, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, one of the teams here, called the Dice Daddies,
Sure.
have been handing out stickers. They have little D6s with little hearts on them. I like it.
That's so cute.
Oprah Smash is a phenomenal Twitch name, by the way.
It's right here, I'm staring right at it, black, green, probably one of my favorite colors. I have 3 of these bottles in my paint rack at home because of how much I use this stupid color.
What like application are you normally using it for?
Anything green. Even
Okay.
things that like aren't green, I'll use it to like shade. It's just it's an amazing color. If there's a color that you order from them, black, green, one of the best. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna use it for this emerald thing or whatever you want to call it on his.
Oh, on the, like the brooch, kind of.
Yeah. And I'm gonna paint that. So I'm also gonna use it to paint the life potion, which I should have painted the vial first. So I made a bit of a boo-boo there, but please forgive me.
I think that would work for the dewormer potion.
For sure.
I don't know why I see dewormer or like a medical salve of some form would be more of like a greenish color because green means health, right?
Yeah. Which, you know, as soon as you go to your doctor and you tell them, like, that's the color you pee, they're all concerned.
That is true. Life potion? You mean health potion? Wow, no. So they're different things. Health potions are different than life potions. Life potions heal your health. Health potions heal your health. So like a health potion would heal like a disease, and a life potion would give you some of your life back.
Also, another color that I don't think anyone can live without. If you're ever going to paint white, this is one of the best colors on the planet Earth. It's fantastic.
You've done a whole lot of stormtroopers. Is that something you would have used?
I painted a lot of clone troopers.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the blue I would use.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the vials this white color. Or actually, you probably should paint them blue.
I got you, boo.
Thank you. Yeah, I should probably do that actually. So I'm gonna paint them blue. Bleu. Sacre. Bleu.
Chicken cordon. Bleh.
Bleu. Bleu. All right. So vials, I usually paint them blue. Because that's what people think clear colors look like water. For some reason, blue is the color that keeps on coming up.
That is weird.
Yeah, it's strange.
Most water's clear.
Yeah, it is. But everybody paints
Or brown.
water, or green.
Or green.
In my case,
Yeah. Sea foam, even.
don't say that word.
Sea foam?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it better if I add the green in afterward?
Well, I guess it depends on what your doctor says.
I had a Tom DeLonge Seafoam Green Stratocaster.
Sure.
It was the first time I learned about the word Seafoam Green,
Sure.
and I'll never forget it.
Seafoam, probably one of my favorite colors.
I think my mom sold that guitar, by the way. I was looking around for it, and I was like, where are you?
So did you make it so that she doesn't have legs?
I have never made a single person unable to obtain legs.
So is that what the police report says?
Yes. After I removed their legs until they put on there what I wanted.
All right, Mr. France, you win again. Mr. Tim. Blah blah.
Actually, I was going by my pseudonym, Tammy French Toast. So, really disguised my name. They had no idea it was me.
Smart thinking.
Yep, I thought so.
Well, I made a boo-boo and I put white on there first, but whatever. I mean, I'm gonna eventually get that. So I'm gonna paint other stuff while this stuff is drying. What else is there to do? So we're gonna paint some floof. Doggy floof is usually like white, depending on the dog, obviously. So this paint also works really well for that. Now this you can be super just not tidy. I see food and I eat it. All right. So usually the floof is on the tail, ears, and usually they're like their booty. Did I say booty twice? Their chest. Booty and chest. So this model actually has like little ear floof things sticking out of his ears.
Honestly, both are synonyms for treasure for pirates.
That's technically true. That is true, actually. All right. Well, I'm gonna go rethink my life.
Yeah.
Now that I know
that
that.
happens. It happens.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to somebody about that and be like, "Did you know that?" And they're like, "Sir, this is a Wendy's."
And we've been closed for 3 years. What are you doing in my adjunct house?
I just really wanted you to know that. I mean, how can feet smell if they don't even have a nose?
Are you telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
You gotta wait for them to redeem.
I didn't even consider that a dad joke. That's just one of my favorite vines. Oh my God, are vines dad jokes now? Are we that old?
Yeah, I think so.
Tisdale told me something terrifying yesterday that actually shook me to my core. The PlayStation 3 came out 18 years ago.
Jeez.
The PlayStation 3 has graduated high school.
Shush.
The PlayStation 3 is applying to Caltech.
All right, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a watered down, like white in there to kind of give the inner ear a little bit of that white floofiness, just to break up some of this red. Because remember, we were saying earlier, if you were here before, that the dog is very, very red. But you'll notice that as we paint more and more stuff, he kind of looks less oppressively red because all the other stuff is starting to kind of... it's becoming like less and less oppressively red as the other stuff kind of starts to join in. So we need more chakra blue. Dude, the thing that surprises me about video games is they finally made a Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
They finally did it, and apparently it wasn't good.
Oh, really? After all that hype?
Yeah, apparently it just wasn't a very good game.
That's a level of disappointment that I think only Half-Life 3 could live up to. No one could possibly be satisfied with that game.
Yeah, I think Gabe Newland's probably scared.
Yeah. But then you have a banger out there like Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
That just elevates everything to unfathomable levels of quality.
I remember hearing people complain about the game, that the fact that it made game developers have to work harder or something like that.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if it was a clickbait story, but they were like, yeah, Activision is going to sue.
Everything is a pigment of your imagination.
Also, the eyes are white.
But I saw that clickbait article. It's like an easy cook oven article. That Activision and EA were going to sue Larian for setting the bar too high. That they would also now have to do that as well.
I hope it was a joke, but it still doesn't. It still makes it funny.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, you can paint for fun. It's been a long time since I have painted a model that wasn't directly related to a game, and it's kind of freeing in a way.
It's got to be kind of a nice palette cleanser too, especially because you've done a lot of Shatterpoint and stuff recently, and
a lot of Infinity.
A lot of Infinity.
Cyberpunk. It's
Is that what drew you a little bit more to something more fantasy and cute to kind of step away from science fiction, science fantasy pretty heavily.
These are the things I wish I could just kind of paint whenever I want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you do this podcasting thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain point where you're just like, I gotta paint for these games because you don't want to show up to these things without fully painted armies.
Mm-hmm.
So in a weird way, it's kind of like it's kind of butts in some ways because you're like you have like I guess I wouldn't even call it an obligation per se, but you have like certain expectations where you're just like, okay, I got to have all this stuff done.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going back to the vials now. I'm gonna start putting the white on there. And so what you're gonna do when you paint a liquid is you're gonna leave the bottom where the liquid is going to be. You're gonna leave that really dark, or whatever the base color is, because you're gonna paint over it. But the white part is where the light is coming through. So now you have to think about liquid. Liquid conforms to the shape of whatever it is you're painting. So if he's standing straight up, you can't really see it, but if he's standing straight up, that vial is at a bit of an angle.
Yep.
So you have to think the goo or juice in there is going to be resting at that same angle, unless he's moving, which he's not. So when you paint this, you have to think, where is that liquid going to be?
Don't worry about it. But yeah,